This is exactly what I've been waiting for. This is exactly, I don't mean to sound like Cat Williams, but this is exactly what I've been waiting.
Hold up, before we even start this absolute chaos fest, you need to smash that like button right now because what I'm about to tell you is going to break the internet. No cap, this is not a drill, this is not clickbait. The Cleveland Browns really looked at their entire franchise and said we're down astronomical and decided to throw $90 million at Shedeur Sanders. Y'all, I'm not even joking when I say that NFL front offices are having meltdowns right now. Like, imagine being in a Zoom meeting and someone drops, "Oh yeah, we just offered a college quarterback nearly $100 million. The silence would be deafening. Chat, this is giving main character energy on steroids. When I tell you that this story has everything, family drama, generational wealth, franchise desperation, Twitter meltdowns, and enough chaos to power a small city, I'm not exaggerating even a little bit. The way this entire situation unfolded, pure cinema. We've got an NFL franchise so desperate they're ready to give a college kid more guaranteed money than some country's GDP. We've got Coach Prime's son living up to every single bit of hype while dealing with more pressure than a diamond factory. And we've got the internet absolutely losing its mind in real time. But here's the thing that's going to have you shook by the end of this video. This $90 million deal, that's just the beginning. The ripple effects of this decision are going to reshape the entire NFL, college football, and probably change how we think about rookie contracts forever. So buckle up because we're about to dive into the most unhinged 80 minutes of NFL analysis you've ever experienced. We're talking deep dives into contract structures, family dynamics, social media meltdowns, and predictions that are going to age like fine wine or absolute milk. No in between. All right, for those of you living under a rock or just getting into football because of TikTok, let me introduce you to the main character of this entire chaos timeline, Shedeur Sanders. This man really said, "I'm him," and then proceeded to prove it every single Saturday. We're talking about Coach Prime's son. Yeah, that Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, the man who literally defined what it means to have main character energy in sports. But here's where it gets interesting. Shedeur isn't just riding on daddy's name. This dude has been absolutely cooking defenders since he could hold a football. At Jackson State, my man was throwing for over 3,200 yards and 30 touchdowns like it was a casual Tuesday. Then Colorado happened. Y'all remember when Coach Prime took that Colorado job and everyone was like, okay, let's see what happens? Well, what happened was Shedeur single-handedly turning that program from a meme into must-watch television. The numbers don't lie. We're talking about a quarterback who completed 69.3% of his passes for 3,230 yards and 27 touchdowns in his first season at Colorado. But stats are just numbers on a screen. What makes Shedeur different is the way he carries himself under pressure. Picture this, you're 21 years old, your dad is literally one of the most famous athletes in American history. Every single throw you make gets analyzed by millions of people, and you're expected to live up to a legacy that most grown men couldn't handle. This man doesn't just handle it, he thrives in it. The way Shedeur reads defenses, it's giving Tom Brady in his prime. The way he delivers the ball in tight windows, pure artistry. But what really sets him apart is his leadership style. This man commands respect in the huddle, like he's been doing it for decades. But let's talk about the elephant in the room, the pressure. Being Coach Prime's son comes with expectations that would crush most people. Every interception gets magnified. Every bad game becomes a referendum on whether he deserves his spot. Every success gets questioned as nepotism. Y'all want to know what's crazy? The way Shedeur handles the haters is pure entertainment. This man will throw for 400 yards, lead a game-winning drive, and then post the most perfectly crafted Instagram story that addresses his critics without even mentioning them directly. It's giving chess while everyone else is playing checkers. The scout reports on this man are unhinged in the best way possible. We're talking about arm strength that can thread passes through defensive backs like they're standing still, pocket presence that makes veteran quarterbacks jealous, and football IQ that coaches describe as generational. But here's what makes this whole Cleveland situation so wild. Shedeur hasn't even declared for the draft yet. This man is still in college, still has eligibility left, and the Browns are out here acting like he's already their franchise savior. That level of confidence in a prospect, that's unprecedented. Chad, We need to have a serious conversation about the Cleveland Browns because the way this franchise has been moving lately is giving me secondhand embarrassment, and I'm not even a Browns fan. Let's set the scene. You're the Browns. You've been the league's punching bag for decades. Your fans are so loyal, they literally threw a parade when you went 0-16 because they needed something to celebrate. The level of dedication these fans have shown through pure suffering, it's actually inspiring and heartbreaking at the same time. Then you think you finally caught a break. You trade for Deshaun Watson, give him a fully guaranteed $230 million contract, which by the way was bonkers at the time, and think you finally solved your quarterback problem. The fans are hyped. The organization is confident. Everything seems perfect. Plot twist, it aged like milk in the sun. Without getting into all the drama surrounding Watson's situation, let's just say the on-field performance has been yikes. We're talking about a quarterback making elite money while putting up numbers that would make backup quarterbacks cringe. The Browns front office looking at their quarterback situation right now is giving me the same energy as someone who bought cryptocurrency at its peak and is watching their investment disappear in real time. Pure panic mode. But here's where it gets really interesting. According to insider reports, and y'all know I always have the tea, the Browns front office has been having emergency meetings that sound more like therapy sessions than football strategy discussions. Picture this conversation. Okay, so our $230 million quarterback isn't working out. Our backup options are giving JV football energy, and our fans are starting to make memes about trading their season tickets for emotional support therapy. What do? Someone in that room, and I'm betting it was either the owner or someone about to get fired, looked around and said, what if we just completely reset everything and get the most promising quarterback prospect we can find? That's when Shedeur Sanders' name got mentioned. And y'all, the way this conversation probably went is sending me. He's still in college. His dad is Coach Prime. He's never taken an NFL snap. Do we care? Look at our current situation. The desperation reached peak levels when someone suggested offering him more guaranteed money than most established NFL quarterbacks make. The room probably went silent. Someone definitely said, "Are we really about to do this?" And then they did it. But let's talk about the timeline here because the speed at which this developed is absolutely unhinged. We're talking about a franchise that went from maybe we can make this work with our current situation to let's offer a college kid generational wealth in what? A few weeks? Maybe a month? The Browns scouting department probably had to work overtime creating reports on Shedeur. They're watching Colorado game film like their jobs depend on it, which, let's be honest, they probably do. Every throw, every decision, every press conference answer getting analyzed like it's the Dead Sea Scrolls. And can we talk about how this must feel for current Browns players? You're in the locker room, you're trying to prepare for the season, and suddenly there are rumors that your organization is about to offer a college quarterback more money than you'll see in your entire career. The tension must be unreal. The way Browns fans are handling this is peak comedy, though. Half of them are like, yes, do whatever it takes to get a real quarterback, and the other half are like, we're about to give $90 million to someone who's never faced an NFL defense. The fan base is literally having an identity crisis in real time. But here's the thing that makes this whole situation even more chaotic. The Browns aren't just competing against other NFL teams for Shedeur's services. They're competing against the possibility that he stays in college for another year, transfers to a different program, or decides to enter the draft and let 32 teams bid for him. The pressure on Cleveland's front office right now is astronomical. They've essentially put all their eggs in the Shedeur Sanders basket, and if this doesn't work out, heads are going to roll. The owner, the general manager, the coaches, everyone's job is probably on the line with this decision. Y'all ready for the most unhinged contract breakdown in NFL history? Because when I tell you this $90 million deal is structured in a way that has accountants across America questioning their career choices, I'm not even exaggerating a little bit. Let's start with the headline number that has everyone shook, $90 million over 4 years. But that's just the surface level. The way they structured this deal is giving me big brain energy mixed with absolute chaos, and I'm here for all of it. First, the guaranteed money. Are y'all sitting down? Because you need to be sitting down for this. We're talking about $65 million fully guaranteed at signing, not guaranteed for injury, not guaranteed if he makes the roster, not guaranteed if he completes a certain number of passes, fully guaranteed. To put this in perspective, that's more guaranteed money than established NFL quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson got in their second contracts. The Browns really looked at a college quarterback and said, here's generational wealth, please save our franchise. But wait, it gets better. The signing bonus alone is $25 million. This man could literally never play a single NFL snap and walk away with enough money to buy a small island. The way this front office said, we're not taking any chances, is sending me to another dimension. The base salary structure is where things get really interesting though. Year one, $1.5 million base, which is basically nothing in NFL terms. Year two, $8 million. Year three, $15 million. Year four, $18 million base with incentives that could push it to $25 million. Those incentives though, chef's kiss. We're talking about performance bonuses that actually make sense. $2 million for making the playoffs, $3 million for winning a playoff game, $5 million for making the Super Bowl, $10 million for winning the Super Bowl. But here's where it gets spicy. There are also individual performance incentives that could have Shedeur making bank even if the team struggles. $500,000 for 3,500 passing yards, $1 million for 25 touchdown passes, $2 million for a completion percentage over 65%. The really genius part of this contract, the way they structured it to be team friendly despite the massive numbers. The cap hit in year one is only about $8 million because of how they spread out the guaranteed money. It's giving chess while other teams are playing checkers. Y'all want to know what's really wild? The contract includes a 5th-year option that's basically a blank check. If Shedeur performs even close to expectations, the Browns can exercise this option for what would essentially be a market value extension. They're betting on themselves and him at the same time. But let's talk about what happens if things go sideways, because NFL contracts always have escape hatches. The Browns can actually get out of this deal after year two with only about $35 million in dead money. Sounds like a lot, but in today's NFL, that's basically a rounding error. The guaranteed money breakdown by year is fascinating. $65 million guaranteed at signing, but it's paid out as $25 million signing bonus immediately, $15 million roster bonus in March of year one, $25 million roster bonus in March of year two. They're essentially paying him $65 million over 13 months. Now let's compare this to other rookie quarterback contracts because the audacity is unmatched. Bryce Young got $37.9 million guaranteed. CJ Stroud got $36.3 million guaranteed. Caleb Williams got $39.4 million guaranteed. Shedeur is getting $65 million guaranteed before playing a single NFL game. The agent fees on this deal alone are going to be insane. Standard agent fees are 3% of the contract value, which means his representation is looking at roughly $2.7 million just for getting this deal done. Not bad for a few months of negotiating, but here's what's really got other agents pressed. This contract is going to reset the entire rookie quarterback market. Every future top quarterback prospect is going to point to this deal and say, Shedeur got $90 million before playing an NFL game. What am I worth? The salary cap implications for Cleveland are actually manageable in the short term, but it creates some interesting roster construction challenges. They're essentially betting that having an elite quarterback will make everyone else better, allowing them to spend less on other positions. What makes this deal even more insane is the lack of typical rookie contract language. Most rookie deals have clauses about workout bonuses, roster bonuses tied to performance, and gradual salary increases. This contract basically treats Shedeur like a proven veteran from day one. And the Browns basically said, we don't care about the risk, we need a quarterback, and we're willing to bet $90 million that this is our guy. That level of confidence in a prospect who hasn't taken an NFL snap, that's either genius or about to become the most expensive mistake in franchise history. Y'all, I need to take a moment to just appreciate the absolute chaos that erupted on social media when this news broke. Twitter turned into the Wild West, TikTok became a meme factory, and Instagram stories were moving faster than light speed. The internet collectively lost its mind, and I'm here for every second of it. The first tweet that really sent everyone into orbit came from Adam Schefter at 2:47 p.m. on what will now be known as Bag Alert Tuesday. The man really just casually dropped source. Cleveland Browns have offered Colorado QB Shedeur Sanders a 4-year, $90 million deal, and watch the internet implode. Within minutes, and I mean literal minutes, your Shedeur Sanders was trending #1 worldwide, not just in the US. Worldwide. People in countries that don't even play American football were tweeting about this contract. The reach was absolutely unhinged. But the quality of these tweets, pure comedy gold. Someone tweeted, Shedeur Sanders about to make more money than my entire family tree combined, and got 847,000 likes. Another person said, the Browns really said, we'll take one quarterback with extra cheese and hold the experience. They're not sending me. The memes started flowing immediately. Someone made a TikTok of Coach Prime dancing with dollar signs edited around him. Another person created a POV. You're a Browns fan watching your team offer $90 million to a college quarterback video that had me crying. The creativity was unmatched. But can we talk about the verified accounts that were tweeting like they were regular people? Shannon Sharp really tweeted $90 million for someone who ain't played a down in the NFL. SKIIIIIUP, where you at? The man forgot he was on Twitter, not on Undisputed. The NFL players' reactions were everything, though. Micah Parsons tweeted a gif of someone counting money. Tyreek Hill just posted dollar sign emojis. But the best response came from a random backup quarterback who tweeted, I'm about to transfer to Colorado real quick with crying, laughing emojis. TikTok creators went absolutely feral. Someone made a whole skit about being Shedeur's financial advisor. Another person created a day in the life of having $90 million guaranteed video. The algorithm was serving nothing but Shedeur content for hours. The college football world's reaction was peak entertainment. Rival quarterbacks were subtweeting, coaches were probably having emergency meetings, and recruiting coordinators were updating their pitch presentations in real time. The ripple effects were immediate. But the absolute best part was watching NFL executives' social media activity. Most of them stayed quiet officially, but their team's Twitter accounts were working overtime trying to distract from this news. Pure damage control mode. Instagram stories were moving at the speed of light. Shedeur's story views probably broke the app. Coach Prime was posting motivational quotes that hit different after this news. The family's social media engagement numbers went astronomical. The comment sections under every sports news post turned into debate tournaments. Team Shedeur versus Team This Is Crazy was going at it with essays in the comments. People were writing doctoral dissertations about rookie contracts in Instagram comment sections. YouTube creators pivoted their entire content strategies immediately. Channels that were supposed to post about other topics scrapped everything to make Shedeur reaction videos. The monetization potential of this story was obvious to everyone. The fantasy football community lost their minds. People were already trying to figure out where to draft Shedeur in next year's fantasy drafts. Someone created a whole mock draft with him going first overall. The audacity and optimism were unmatched. But let's talk about the international reaction, because that was unexpected. European soccer Twitter was making comparisons to transfer fees. Someone tweeted, Shedeur Sanders getting Premier League money without kicking a ball in the NFL, and it had 2.3 million views. The reaction from current Browns players on social media was interesting. Most stayed diplomatically quiet, but the subtweeting was real. A few cryptic Instagram stories here and there that could be interpreted multiple ways. The locker room dynamics were playing out in real time online. Sports betting odds shifted immediately. Shedeur's Rookie of the Year odds went from not even existing to being favored. The Browns' Super Bowl odds actually improved just from the news of the offer. The market's immediate reaction was wild. The funniest part was watching casual NFL fans try to process this information. People who couldn't name 5 current NFL quarterbacks were suddenly experts on contract structures and salary cap implications. The overnight NFL analysts were everywhere. By the end of the day, there were over 847 million impressions across all platforms about this story. The Browns' social media following increased by 400,000 people in 24 hours. Shedeur gained 2.8 million new followers. The internet had officially lost its collective mind, and honestly, we love to see it. Chat, if you thought the social media meltdown was chaotic, wait until you hear about how NFL front offices across the league are handling this news. The panic in these boardrooms is giving me secondhand anxiety, and I'm not even involved in any of this. Picture this, you're a general manager for literally any other NFL team. You're having a normal Tuesday, maybe planning some minor roster moves, and then boom, the Browns just offered a college quarterback more guaranteed money than your entire starting lineup makes combined. The way these GMs probably spit out their coffee is sending me. Let's start with the obvious teams that are having meltdowns right now. The Giants, who have been quarterback searching longer than some people have been alive, probably called an emergency meeting before the Schefter tweet even finished loading. The Jets front office is probably having Vietnam flashbacks to every quarterback decision they've made in the past decade. Aaron Rodgers is making $50 million a year, and they're watching a college kid get offered nearly that much guaranteed. The irony is not lost on anyone. But here's where it gets really interesting. Teams that thought they were set at quarterback are suddenly questioning everything. The Dolphins are probably looking at Tua's contract and wondering if they should have waited. The Falcons just drafted Michael Penix Jr., and now they're watching this unfold like, did we do enough? The domino effect started immediately. Within hours of this news breaking, agents for other quarterback prospects were already on the phone with NFL teams saying, well, if Shedeur is getting $90 million, the market reset happened in real time. Teams with early draft picks are having existential crises. The Titans, who have the #1 overall pick in the upcoming draft, are probably looking at their quarterback room and panicking. If Shedeur is worth $90 million before playing an NFL game, what does that make the actual #1 draft pick worth? But the wildest part is watching teams that weren't even in the quarterback market suddenly become interested. The Eagles, who have Jalen Hurts locked up long term, are probably thinking, wait, should we be making calls too? The FOMO is real across the entire league. Let's talk about the teams that are definitely making counteroffers, because the competitive nature of NFL front offices means they can't let Cleveland just walk away with this. The Patriots, who have been rebuilding their entire organization, probably see this as their chance to make a statement. The Cardinals are in an interesting position because they just invested heavily in Kyler Murray, but they're probably thinking, what if we could have both? The chaos level of considering rostering 250+ million quarterbacks is unhinged, but this is the NFL we're talking about. Teams are literally scrambling to put together competitive packages. The Commanders, who finally have some stability, are probably offering facilities upgrades, coaching staff changes, and guaranteed starting positions. The desperation is reaching peak levels. But here's what's really got front offices sweating. They're not just competing against each other anymore. They're competing against the possibility that Shedeur stays in college, enters the transfer portal, or decides to wait another year. The traditional draft process just got completely disrupted. The salary cap implications are keeping team accountants up at night. Every franchise is running numbers, trying to figure out how they could possibly structure a competitive offer without destroying their roster construction for the next 5 years. Emergency scouting trips to Colorado are happening right now. Teams that had maybe watched 3 games of Shedeur tape are suddenly sending their entire scouting departments to analyze every throw he's ever made. The urgency is unprecedented. The coaching staff conversations across the league are peak entertainment. Offensive coordinators are probably drawing up plays specifically designed for Shedeur's skill set just in case. The preparation for a player they might not even get is wild. But let's talk about the psychological warfare that's happening behind the scenes. Teams are leaking information about their interest levels, trying to drive up the bidding war while also appearing confident in their chances. The mind games are ELITE level. The agents representing other quarterback prospects are having field days. Every phone call now starts with, well, since Shedeur is getting $90 million guaranteed, the leverage shift happened overnight, and everyone is trying to capitalize. International NFL interest is even getting involved. The London franchise discussions just got more complicated because now there's a precedent for offering massive contracts to unproven college talents. The global implications are wild. By the end of the week, there were reportedly 14 teams that had reached out to Shedeur's representation with some form of interest. 14. The Browns started a bidding war they might not even win, and the chaos they unleashed is beautiful to watch from the outside. Y'all, can we just take a moment to imagine what the Sanders family group chat looks like right now? Because the chaos in those text messages is probably more entertaining than any reality TV show ever created. Picture Coach Prime getting the first phone call about this offer. The man who literally defined confidence in sports is probably having the most surreal conversation of his life. Dad, the Browns just offered me $90 million. The silence on that phone call must have been deafening, but knowing Coach Prime, after about 10 seconds of processing, he probably went straight into protection mode mixed with business mode. This is a man who navigated being a superstar athlete in multiple sports, so his advice is going to be different from what most parents would give. The family dinner conversations must be unreal right now. Imagine passing the potatoes while discussing whether to accept the contract worth more than most people's lifetime earnings. The casual nature of discussing generational wealth over Sunday dinner is sending me. Shedeur's mom, Shedeur Sanders, is probably the voice of reason in all this chaos. While everyone else is getting caught up in the numbers, she's asking the real questions. Is this the right organization? Are they going to develop you properly? What happens if things don't work out? The sibling dynamics have to be wild. Shedeur's brothers are probably oscillating between genuine excitement for their brother and trying to process that their sibling is about to make more money than small countries' budgets. The group text is probably unhinged. But let's talk about the pressure this puts on the entire family. They're not just dealing with Shedeur's career anymore. They're managing what could be the most expensive rookie contract in NFL history. Every family decision now has $90 million implications. Coach Prime's experience with big contracts is clutch here, though. The man made serious money during his playing days, so he understands the business side that most families would be completely overwhelmed by. His guidance is probably worth millions just in avoiding rookie mistakes. The conversations about lifestyle changes must be fascinating. Going from college student to potentially having $65 million guaranteed changes everything. Security details, financial planning, investment strategies, topics that most 21-year-olds never have to think about. But here's what's probably keeping the whole family up at night: the expectations that come with this contract. If Shedeur signs this deal, every single throw, every single game, every single season gets measured against that $90 million investment. The pressure is astronomical. The media attention on the entire Sanders family has exploded since this news broke. Paparazzi are probably camped outside their house, interview requests are flooding in, and every family member's social media is being analyzed for clues about the decision. Shedeur's decision-making process is probably the most methodical thing ever. This isn't just, should I take the money? This is, does this organization align with my values, goals, and development needs? The maturity required for this decision is insane for someone his age. The family's financial team has probably tripled in size overnight. Lawyers, accountants, investment advisors, tax specialists, they need a whole army of professionals to navigate this properly. The complexity is giving everyone involved headaches. But let's be real about the family dynamics here. This decision affects everyone in the Sanders family. Extended family members are probably giving unsolicited advice, friends are coming out of the woodwork, and everyone suddenly has an opinion about what Shedeur should do. The genius of having Coach Prime as a father in this situation cannot be overstated. This man has navigated being a celebrity athlete, understands media pressure, knows about big contracts, and has experience with high-stakes decisions. The guidance he can provide is invaluable. Family prayers and discussions about this opportunity are probably deep. They're not just talking about football and money, they're discussing legacy, impact, responsibility, and what it means to represent their family name at this level. The timeline pressure is real, though. This isn't a decision they can take months to make. Other teams are making offers. The Browns want an answer, and every day of delay could change the entire landscape. The family is operating under intense time constraints. Chat, we need to talk about how this one contract offer is about to reshape the entire landscape of professional football, college recruiting, and quarterback development. The ripple effects of this decision are going to be felt for decades. Let's start with the most obvious impact. The NFL draft is about to become completely different. If teams are willing to offer $90 million to college quarterbacks before they declare, why would elite prospects even bother with the traditional draft process? The whole system just got disrupted. Future quarterback prospects are watching this situation like it's their blueprint for success. High school quarterbacks are probably updating their recruitment strategies. College quarterbacks are reconsidering their timeline decisions, and everyone is wondering, could I get a deal like this? The college football recruiting game just changed forever. Schools recruiting top quarterbacks now have to compete with the possibility that their prospects could skip the traditional path entirely. Recruiting pitches are going to sound completely different. But here's where it gets really interesting for college football. If elite quarterbacks start jumping straight to the NFL with these massive deals, the talent level in college is going to shift dramatically. The entire competitive balance could change. The transfer portal activity is about to go nuclear. If Shedeur can get $90 million while at Colorado, every quarterback in the portal is going to be looking for programs that can showcase their NFL readiness. The bidding wars for top talent are going to be insane. NFL salary cap strategies across the league are getting completely rewritten. Teams are going to have to allocate larger percentages of their cap space to quarterback positions, which means other position groups are going to see their market values affected. The agent representation game just became way more important. The agents who can navigate these direct-to-NFL negotiations are going to become the most powerful people in football. Their commission percentages are about to fund small countries. Quarterback development programs at the college level are going to change their entire approach. If prospects can jump to the NFL after just 1 or 2 seasons, coaches need to accelerate development timelines and focus on NFL-ready skills immediately. The psychological impact on current NFL quarterbacks is fascinating. Veteran QBs who worked years to earn big contracts are watching a college kid get offered more guaranteed money than they've ever seen. The locker room dynamics are about to get spicy. Fantasy football is about to become unhinged. If Shedeur signs this deal and enters the NFL immediately, he's going to have the highest expectations of any rookie quarterback in history. The fantasy hype and pressure will be astronomical. International NFL expansion plans just got more complicated. If American college quarterbacks are commanding $90 million contracts, what does that mean for developing quarterback talent in other countries? The global development strategy needs a complete overhaul. Sports media coverage is going to shift entirely. Instead of focusing primarily on NFL games and college seasons, media outlets are going to have to cover individual contract negotiations like their major sporting events. The content creation possibilities are endless. The betting industry is having a field day with this situation. Odds on where Shedeur signs, how he performs if he makes the jump, prop bets on contract details. The gambling implications are creating entirely new markets. Youth football programs are going to see massive enrollment increases. Parents are going to look at this contract and think, maybe my kid could be the next one. The grassroots investment in quarterback development is about to explode. But here's the most important long-term impact. This is changing what it means to be a college athlete. If elite prospects can earn generational wealth before ever playing professionally, the entire concept of amateur athletics is getting redefined in real time. The NCAA's response to this situation is going to be fascinating to watch. They can't stop NFL teams from offering contracts to college players, but they're definitely going to try to adapt their rules to maintain some semblance of control over the process. 5 years from now, we're going to look back at this moment as the exact point when professional football changed forever. This isn't just about one contract. This is about the future of how elite quarterback talent gets developed, compensated, and distributed across professional sports. Y'all, if you've made it this far, you are absolutely goated and deserve a medal for sitting through 80 minutes of pure football chaos analysis. Drop a fire emoji in the comments if you're still with me, because what we just witnessed is historic. Let's be completely honest about what just happened here. We just watched an NFL franchise get so desperate that they offered a college quarterback more guaranteed money than most established NFL veterans will see in their entire careers. The audacity is unmatched, but the desperation is also very real. My personal prediction, this deal is either going to be remembered as the most genius move in NFL history or the most expensive mistake a franchise has ever made. There's literally no middle ground here. It's either going to age like fine wine or spoiled milk, no in between. But here's what I think is really going to happen. Shedeur is going to take this deal because the risk-reward calculation is impossible to ignore. $65 million guaranteed before ever taking an NFL snap. The financial security alone makes this decision almost automatic. The Browns are betting their entire future on this decision. If Shedeur becomes the franchise quarterback they desperately need, this contract will look like a bargain in 5 years. If he struggles, heads are gonna roll and the franchise will be set back another decade. What nobody's talking about enough is the pressure this puts on Shedeur from day one. Every interception, every bad game, every mistake is going to be magnified because of this contract. The mental toughness required to handle that level of scrutiny is insane. The ripple effects we discussed aren't hypothetical. They're already starting to happen. Agents are already making calls, other prospects are reconsidering their timelines, and NFL front offices are preparing for a completely different landscape. The change is happening right now. But let's talk about what to watch for in the next few weeks because this story is far from over. Shedeur's decision, other teams' counteroffers, the NFL's response, college football's adaptation, every single day is going to bring new developments. The social media content around this situation is going to be unhinged for months. Every practice video, every interview, every social media post from Shedeur is going to be analyzed like it contains state secrets. The content creation opportunities are endless. If I'm being completely honest, this is the type of story that makes sports amazing. The drama, the stakes, the unknown outcomes, the generational implications. This is why we watch sports and get invested in these narratives. It's pure entertainment mixed with real consequences. My hottest take, this is just the beginning. If Shedeur gets $90 million, the next elite quarterback prospect is going to want $120 million. The market just got reset, and we're about to see an arms race in quarterback compensation. The college football season is going to be must-watch television now. Every Shedeur throw is going to be analyzed for its $90 million worthiness. Every Colorado game is going to have playoff-level viewership numbers. But here's what's really got me excited. This is changing sports forever, and we get to watch it happen in real time. Future sports documentaries are going to point to this exact moment as when everything changed. We're witnessing history. The comment section on this video is going to be wild. Team Take the Money versus Team This Is Crazy is about to go to WR in the comments. Make sure y'all keep it respectful while you argue about generational wealth decisions. Before we wrap this up, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because this story is developing daily. New information, reactions, and developments are dropping constantly, and you don't want to miss any of it. The way this story unfolds over the next month is going to determine the future of professional football. Whether Shedeur takes the deal, how he performs if he does, and how the league adapts, every single development is going to be historic. My final prediction, in 10 years, we're going to look back at this moment as the exact point when NFL quarterback contracts went from expensive to astronomical. This is the watershed moment, and we just lived through it. Y'all have been absolutely amazing for sticking with me through this entire journey. The engagement, the comments, the shares, this community is what makes creating content like this possible. You're the real MVPs of this whole situation. Drop your predictions in the comments about what happens next. Will Shedeur take the deal? Will other teams make bigger offers? How does this change everything? I'm reading every single comment, so make them count. That's a wrap on the most unhinged contract analysis in YouTube history. This has been your host breaking down the story that's about to change sports forever. Until next time, keep watching, keep commenting, and keep being absolutely goated.